Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. We are back with Willem, the founder of Botanix, another Bitcoin layer 2. It's been a while since we spoke last year, Willem, but you guys have just launched your mainnet, so I'm keen to dive into everything that's been happening, how people can get involved, and what else is on the roadmap. So welcome back and well done on the progress.
Absolutely. Great to be here. Thanks for inviting me over again.
So people might remember our interview last time. You guys are using a different type of technology called, the spider net. And do you want to walk people through again that maybe didn't see that first interview, just the basics of how you guys are building your layer two?
Absolutely, yeah. We're building Botanix. So Botanix is a Bitcoin layer 2. It's actually a decentralized Bitcoin layer 2, only connected to Bitcoin. And yeah, I'm quite excited. We're using something what we call the Spiderchain. So what differentiates us from rollups who are typically very centralized, the Spiderchain is actually the goal is to be fully decentralized. So in essence, we announced our federation as well a few weeks ago. We started with 16 different nodes spread out throughout the world. We have actually one of the node operators is Peer2 in Australia, of course. And it's already decentralized from day one. So rollups are a single sequencer, right? One single server. We at Botanix, we started with 16 decentralized sequencers from day one. The cool thing about the Spider chain is, in essence, you have the network of 16 running on Bitcoin, and these all run sequential multisigs in essence, but you can expand that. And so throughout 2026, what we expect is this federation to expand to 100 to 200 nodes. By 2028, we expect this to be 10,000s of nodes. So it's an absolutely decentralized layer two. And why that's important? Maybe you want to ask that, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think our audience knows about the importance of decentralization that we've spoken about over the past few years. But I think, as you've said, other technologies are still more centralized, and everyone's ultimately trying to build out a more decentralized world. But I think people have even got more comfortable, like you said, with groups of 100 or 1,000 and sort of getting there slowly as well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for Bitcoin, I think there's a difference compared to Ethereum. For Ethereum, a layer two makes a lot of sense that it's more centralized, like a roll-up single server, because you can do anything on Ethereum mainnet, right? For Bitcoin, it's totally different. Like, forget anything about about scaling technologies for Ethereum. It's wildly two different worlds. And case in point is if you want to run a financial system, meaning DeFi, meaning borrowing, lending, meaning having your bank accounts, meaning staking, your actual financial system that can happen in the future, you cannot run that on centralized rails. Like over and over, governments will seize bank accounts, will block other countries from using the financial system, etc.
Yeah.
Now on Ethereum, that's fine because you can use Ethereum mainnet, right? It's decentralized. Bitcoin doesn't have that. You just have money on the base layer. So your layer two on Bitcoin needs to be decentralized in essence.
Fantastic. So with that mainnet live, I think in the last episode we showed people a few of the other apps and stuff to have a play around with, and there was even some NFTs I think we did with maybe Palladium and stuff like that. So are there any like cool apps that are live where you recommend people just head over and check it out and connect their wallet and have a play around, or how do people get involved?
No, absolutely. I mean, it's actually wild when you build a platform and you launch with a massive ecosystem. It's hard for me to track everything that's happening. So for the users who have played around on our testnet, might want to check your wallets. There might be a little bit of Bitcoin in there. Just gas fees for you to start playing around. Then, I mean, we are launching with a massive ecosystem. It's quite wild. We have a lot of native teams, so new net founding teams like Palladium, you just mentioned, who are doing interest-free Bitcoin-backed loans. So you can actually borrow stable coins interest-free with a fee, of course. But you have two new dexes, completely new founding teams that are live that you can start playing around with. You might not have the full stablecoin pools yet. Like this whole thing, spinning up a whole DeFi ecosystem takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely have a check on that. They will also be launching tokens, doing token airdrops. At this point, maybe one of them is already live or might be coming very, very soon.
Yeah.
Um, We have perp dexes that are native teams, Live, Artura. The dexes are, by the way, Arch and Bitsy, so you can start using them. And then we've got a whole suite of tier one names from Ethereum land that you are familiar with. So we're working together with Chainlink, of course, as the oracles.
Yeah.
Layer 0 for bridges. We've got Lightning bridges for the Bitcoiners. Actually, just yesterday, I paid a Lightning invoice with my Botanix Bitcoin. Here in Pubkey in New York, I just paid on Lightning. So top up your Lightning wallet with Botanix Bitcoin, super easy. On topping swap providers from Bitcoin itself. So yeah, basically a bunch of different things people can start playing around with. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I did have a bit of a play around with the Bitsy Dex, but that was a while ago on testnet. But do you want to maybe talk about you guys are EVM compatible and how that helps with interoperability, and people are now talking about cross-chain liquidity and sort of where everything is going and anything that is maybe on the roadmap?
Absolutely. I think my theory actually over the last 3 years has not changed in essence. I think Bitcoin is winning money. I think this cycle more and more people starting to believe that, and it's getting clear. The Bitcoin dominance is
Yeah.
insane this cycle. So Bitcoin is the winning money. Second assumption we have is EVM is a winning virtual machine. It is by far the one with the biggest infrastructure. And actually, if you build a blockchain, I can see it every day. Like we have 40 different infrastructure partners. Think about block explorers, wallets, subgraph providers, oracles. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. To the point that I sometimes don't know what these infrastructure partners sometimes do. But for example, like a GMX that is live, they have infrastructure partners that they work with, and so you can see for the EVM, there's probably thousands of companies that support that. And that is the power of the EVM. So I think Bitcoin is the winning money. I think EVM is a winning virtual machine. And I think the Bitcoin layer 2 needs a decentralized layer 2. And so I think everything will aggregate. Liquidity begets liquidity. Anything will always be bigger on Bitcoin. There's so much liquidity waiting there to happen. There's so many Bitcoiners waiting for these applications. And it's actually very funny because I think there's two worlds in the world of crypto. And Bitcoin is like right in the middle. You have the Ethereum world and the applications on-chain, permissionless, global, efficient, right? And these are all applications, user applications, DeFi. And then you have Bitcoin, right? It's sitting there, store of value, best money ever made. And then you actually have that Bitcoin in TradFi companies. And this is massive. Now you have it in Bitcoin treasury companies, you have it in ETFs. Strike and Ledden are doing like borrowing dollars against your Bitcoin. And actually, Ledden is huge. They have like $10 billion of volume. You can borrow dollars against your Bitcoin at interest rates of 14%, 1-4. And so TradFi is inefficient, it's not global, it's not on chain, but Bitcoiners kind of want to do these things. And so you have a lot of Bitcoin in the TradFi world. And then you have the Ethereum, the on chain world, permissionless efficient. And so if you borrow stablecoins against your Bitcoin on Aave, your interest rate is 3%. That is absolutely insane to me. These markets are about same size, tens of billions of dollars. On chain on Aave, 3%. TradFi world, 14%. That's more than 4x higher.
Yeah.
And it's just because it's Bitcoiners that they maybe don't want to do it on Ethereum. And so you have this landscape of Bitcoin layer 2s waiting to explode. Yeah.
Yeah, that right there is the multi-billion-dollar opportunity that you've just described. Just to arbitrage that as people get more and more comfortable with the safety and all that as well. So, what about you guys for your mainnet at the moment? Do you want to talk people through maybe the staking with Bitcoin and maybe how that ties into your token and when that token will drop and all that sort of thing as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the absolute game changers that we've opened up here with Botanix is Bitcoin yield in a token form. And this is proper Bitcoin yield, not Bitcoin yields that are actually not really Bitcoin yields in essence. What I mean by that is 50% of all the gas fees on Botanix, which are in Bitcoin, of course, will accrue to the staking application. So you can stake your Bitcoin, and slowly over time, 50% of all the gas fees in Bitcoin accrue back, and you get Bitcoin back. So it's Bitcoin yield. There's nothing else involved, really,
Yeah.
right? So today, most of the Bitcoin yields you think about are one, very low, and second, they're in other tokens. Like if you stake with Babylon, you get baby tokens back. If you stake with CoreDAO, you get Core tokens back. If you stake with Stacks, get Stacks tokens back, right? But that's not what the sustainability of that is quite questionable. And so with Botanix, you can stake your Bitcoin. It's an up-only mechanism, and you basically get Bitcoin back. Like there's nothing else. Now, the interesting part of that, and this is what I think will break open Bitcoin DeFi. Now you have a token, STBTC, and you can use that in DeFi. Where do you have an actual sustainable yield-bearing token? It's very easy. You can stake and unstake instantly. It's like your wrapped staked ETH on Ethereum,
Yeah.
right? So now you can actually, on Palladium, you can borrow stable coins against STBTC, against yielding Bitcoin. So not only is your amount of Bitcoin slowly going up,
Yeah.
you can borrow against that. And so you can start pooling that and leveraging that even more. So for example, on GMX, you can actually provide liquidity with STBTC. And so this opens up a new realm of possibilities in DeFi that we haven't really seen before because it's all Bitcoin based.
Yeah.
And so the STBTC as an inherently natively yielding Bitcoin opens this completely up. Yeah, that was the first part of your question. I just realized.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Yeah, do you want to follow up and dive into the Spider token or what it's going to be called and how it's all going to work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So day one of mainnet, we don't have a token. So everything runs on Bitcoin. Now, of course, that might come one day. We don't really know. In the beginning, everything will run on Bitcoin in essence. A lot of the ecosystem dApps are airdropping to our community. Our token incentives are TGing. So there's a lot to grab there and to explore. Actually, we're doing a whole mainnet campaign where a lot of these teams are doing different token airdrops as well. But for Botanix itself, it's Bitcoin for the moment.
Yeah, that's an interesting approach. And would you be happy, long term if everything's succeeding and Botanix and the Spiderchain's all going well, that you actually don't need your own token and you're happy to see all these apps and Bitcoin DeFi kind of doing the work rather than needing another token, or are you just going to sort of wait and see how that plays out?
Well, a few things. I think I call these actually the Botanix assumptions. I think it's like six assumptions that first principles I absolutely believe to be true, and we've touched upon a few. I think number one, Bitcoin is the winning money. Number two, EVM is the winning virtual machine. Especially in Bitcoin land, a lot of people still don't believe that, and
Yeah,
actually, generally, a lot of people still don't believe that. Third one is liquidity begets liquidity. Everything will be bigger on Bitcoin.
yeah,
Most people don't believe that. Fourth one is um, Bitcoin needs a decentralized layer two. Definitely not a lot of people believe that, especially with rollups getting more popular, etc.
yeah,
Fifth one is that I believe tokens are a better form of equities. It's global, it's more efficient, and it goes across borders. So it will always be more permissionless, more efficient, more global. And so it is a better form of equities. And so in that sense, I think it makes a lot of sense for Botanix as well. But not at the moment. Actually, we're fully focused on product market fit, building a decentralized Bitcoin layer two. Like in essence, we believe what we're building right now could be the financial rails for a financial system in the year 2040 on Bitcoin. And that is our singular goal. And it's actually quite cool because we present this slide every 2 weeks in our company. And so um, it would actually be really cool if 10 years from now that is starting to play out and like, look, I was there on day one, like I was part of this journey.
yeah.
But yeah, that's our singular focus.
That's a long time away with how fast the world's moving with AI and everything, William. I think it might even come well before that. But I think you had
We're ready for
something
it.
you wanted to share your screen and walk us through another part of the website or something.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the moment where you get a lot of alpha, as they say. So
Fantastic.
let me
Well done, everyone that
actually.
stuck around to the end then.
That's always the trick, right?
Yeah.
Put the alpha at the end so people listen to your podcast.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, let me share my screen.
Beautiful.
So this is, and let me reload it for you so you can see the whole thing. This is what we call Bitcoin 2100. It is the world in the year 2100. And Bitcoin has become the money. You can start using it as money, use it in financial system. You no longer think in your dollars, you think in Bitcoin. And so we basically built it to be one educational for a lot of people, because we believe a lot of Bitcoiners will come on chain for the first time ever that want to do this stuff. But at the same time, so it's very entertaining and it is also rewarding in essence. So there's a whole world of things for everyone to do. And so you can start going around. It is filled with Easter eggs, by the way. You can keep going and going. This is, for example, SBF escaping from prison here. For the people, we have a police station that actually references SAC XBT. If you guys know him, he's like
Yeah.
on Twitter always. You have Bitcoin Beach in El Salvador. It's filled and filled and filled. Now it has a bunch of different things in there. And it will last throughout the whole summer. So for 2 months long, new things, new quests, new rewards, etc., will open up. One of the main things we want to showcase with this is our ecosystem. And so we have a lot of partners here. These are the partners that are coming online. So every week, a new partner or two new partners will come online and they will do a bunch of quests. So, for example, on GMX, you would have to long or short or provide liquidity. On the DEXs, you'll swap. On Palladium, you'll take borrow a loan. And so each and every one of the native teams will absolutely incentivize part of their token airdrops to this. They have their own campaigns as well, so definitely look them up as we speak already. I think a lot of that information is already out. And so this is just everything gathered from our side, but everyone is doing their own campaigns. Everyone is putting some rewards in there. So maybe by the end of the campaign, after 2 months, you'll have a bunch of tokens, like I think 4 or 5 token airdrops, token rewards from all of these applications, and a lot of free Bitcoin. And this is where there's a second part of the game, of Bitcoin 2100, and we call that the Citadel. So I'll have to connect my wallet here first. Oops.
So this is available for anyone if I put this link down below in the description.
Yes. Not this link, but a different link.
Fantastic.
This is the testnet link. So these are all just testnet Bitcoin at the moment, because that's easier for me to show. But I'll share with you the link later on.
No worries.
All right, almost there. So this is the Citadel. This is where you can earn free sats. So you've got 4 different games. Spin the wheel. So spin the wheel, you just pay 1 sat to spin the wheel. Okay, we are in the middle of migrating, so it might be that we run into some issues as we speak.
That's right. At time of recording, we're just before mainnet launch, so maybe that's why. And by the time it goes live, it'll all be up and working smoothly.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm running into problems here. We're actually doing the migration from the testnet to mainnet.
No, that's all right. I'll drop that link down below, and I think there might have even been another link for our VIP for our members we might do as well. But no, I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
checking all this out once it is all live and rolled over to mainnet.
Yeah, I can maybe quickly talk you through. Basically, 4 games. We're spending a lot of Bitcoin on this. It's free Bitcoin. It might not be a lot today, but think 10 years from now, 80 years from now, this is a lot. We have a free faucet, so checking every day for free sats. I mean, a Bitcoin faucet hasn't existed for 15 years.
Yeah.
Then again, back then it was 5 Bitcoin, it was worth nothing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So today it might not be a lot, but you never know. Spin the wheel, you pay 1 sat and you win at least 2 sats. You gotta guess the block hash, so a jackpot with 0.5 Bitcoin to win, and then a puzzle game for basically everyone who like puzzles. This is educational in the sense that you'll be able to find different clues online in different type of things. And don't worry, you made it that way. It's not AIable, or you cannot go to ChatGPT. It's very interesting. Eventually, every week there's a new private key that you'll be able to find with the clues, and every private key has 0.1 Bitcoin. So a lot of Bitcoin to win around here. So definitely check that one out. And then by the end of the summer, I mean, yeah, there will be a lot.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, I'll just stop that screen. Oh, thank you. Anything else we haven't touched on today, William, you think is important for people at home or just Bitcoin in general that you want people to know about, where we currently sit at this stage of the cycle and with different, layer twos coming online and different tech being tweaked on base layer and stuff? It's very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the Bitcoin TradFi cycle, as I call it. Seems like Bitcoin is the big one this cycle. It all sits with Bitcoin treasury companies. If I understand correctly, there's probably about 100 of those companies actively raising money in the TradFi world, buying Bitcoin. And it's very sticky Bitcoin. Like all of these companies are going to put it on their balance sheet like a MicroStrategy, and they're probably not going to sell it. So it's very sticky. So I mean, I think it's green onwards for the next few months, half a year. At least after that, it's hard to tell. But one of the few things I also realized, like if you wanna bet on something on chain, you kind of want to be close to Bitcoin. It's like, of course, you get the exceptions of hyperliquid, etc. But if you really believe, we believe that 20 years from now, a Bitcoin layer 2 can run the financial system, then check things out, try things out, try paying with your Lightning wallets, and yeah, enjoy it.
Do you want to give any price targets? I completely agree that because we've matured now in the market cap, we've got to. My thesis has been for a few years it's going to trade more like a stock market with sort of like 30% corrections rather than 70, 80, 90% corrections that we've seen. And you just mentioned how sticky that Bitcoin is on balance sheets. Does that kind of almost break up the traditional 4 year cycle of huge parabolic run up, huge pullbacks, and sort of smooth out that growth?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Before this cycle, I absolutely believed we would have another 4 year cycle. It's very interesting because it is a more gradual approach. We haven't seen the crazy fraudiness in the market yet, like we're used to, right? Like with insane token prices, with insane altcoin markets,
Yeah.
right? It's always like been very limited, and it actually seems that most of the retail is actually betting on the stocks of these Bitcoin treasury companies, right?
Yeah.
So it seems much more sustainable, more to follow the more traditional markets. Absolutely. Price targets, I would say, what are we now? June 30th, probably July when it airs. So I don't know, 150 to 200 by year end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fantastic. I think everyone will be pretty happy with that, as we have been, Bitcoin heavy and focused on Bitcoin DeFi with all our research for sort of 2 or 3 years now, and it's playing out really well. So, Willem, good luck with it all. We'll have you back on again in future, and I'll put those links below for everyone to have a play around and get some free Bitcoin and some airdrops as well. So, I appreciate your time as always, mate, and good luck with everything.
absolutely. Thank you all, and have fun. It's going to be an exciting summer, Bitcoin
Absolutely.
summer.
Cheers, mate.